Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. And welcome to the DCEU fan show, the first of many fan shows, a safe place for all DCEU fans to sit back and relax and jot down what you think of what I'm saying and what you think about the DCEU as a whole and what's going on with it right now. But first, I want you to listen to what this chap is saying on this channel, right? The Renegade Cut. Now, basically, don't subscribe to this guy because he hates the DCEU. But I just want to play a little bit of what he says. Now, this video is called the DCEU Film and Culture Analysis, Part 1 of 4. So just listen to what he's saying, and we'll discuss a little bit.
Supposed to be one brief stop on the hero's journey. Superman is not an active player in his own story. Now, not every movie needs to be a hero's journey or follow the monomyth, but this one does. It is literally a hero's journey. It is literally a superhero origin movie. It did not have to follow the journey beat for beat. That might be too predictable, but it needed to work within this theory. If Star Wars used the Man of Steel method, Luke Skywalker would spend most of the film on Tatooine drinking blue milk, occasionally debating whether or not he should do something with his life and having flashbacks. Man of Steel does this, and it makes for a completely unengaging story. It strands itself on the island of the refusal of the call, and we, as the audience, are stuck there with the hero that is somehow not the hero of his own story. The hero is supposed to be the driving force behind what is happening. The driving force of men.
And he goes on and on and on. So that is Renegade Cut, DCEU Film and Culture Analysis, if you want to go and watch that. Probably you don't if you're a DCEU fan. Now, I only clicked on it by accident. What gives this person the right to tell us what a superhero film should be? He does go on and say that people who say this film is good because it's different is wrong, because just because something's different doesn't make it better. No, of course it doesn't. I don't love Man of Steel and the DCEU because it's different, although it is different. I liked what they did with it. I said at the time, there's no way I would have made Man of Steel the way Christopher Nolan, David S. Goyer and Zack Snyder did it. I think it showed a lot of balls what they did. You know, I would have done a lot different. I wouldn't have done a typical trumpet-playing superhero movie either. But the arrogance of this guy, this is the thing. This is why I don't like these people. They are so butthurt. The problem is, right, that guy is obviously not even a DC fan. What gives them the right to start talking like this? But they do. So I love the way he kind of, it's not a good film because we're stuck in the same place where the character's trying to decide whether he should do something or not. That's not what's actually going on. We begin the film on Krypton. Then we see him on the tanker, right? Then we see him actually do something and save a bunch of people, right? He can actually jump on that copter as well, but he stays, right? And he saves everyone, right? Because if he doesn't hold that thing up, everybody in the helicopter dies, right? So he's already being a hero. So this guy is already contradicting himself. And you hear this a lot from DCEU haters. They've got this rule with what a film should be. And they hold up the MCU as the kind of Bible of what a superhero film should be. I mean, a lot of people hold up Superman the movie the same way. But I love Superman the movie. But it doesn't mean necessarily you have to do what that film did. But it's the arrogance of this person doing a very long video sounding like what he's talking about. He sounds like a critic. He sounds like a critic looking into things that the ordinary moviegoer doesn't do. But what he does by doing this is try and poison ordinary low IQ driven people to thinking that Man of Steel is a bad film. Now, your film experience is totally your own experience. Everyone has the right to have their own opinions and say, this was a great, middling, rubbish movie. If you don't like Man of Steel, look, I'm not here to convince you that the DCEU is a great franchise. I'm here to tell you, talking like that is a lot of nonsense, right? And And actually, right, if I just pause this video, there's something else I want to play to you from that video.
Quotation on the best of times and worst of times, but with something as unessential and, let's face it, silly as superhero movies. These films cost hundreds of millions of dollars to produce, and hundreds of millions of dollars more to market, like a queen's ransom on top of a king's ransom. Hollywood recentered its gaze to the stuff of comic books and ultra-tight spandex. The most important people are not movie stars anymore, they're characters. Franchisable characters. Thor is a star. Chris Hemsworth stars in 12 Strong, In the Heart of the Sea, and Black Hat. January dumping ground movies that nobody sees or remembers. The comic book fans got everything they wanted. The movies, the attention, the respect, the lack of side-eye when wearing an Aquaman t-shirt in public. And yet, instead of being enthusiastic and thrilled with this unprecedented attention, some DC comic fans are furious, not at the movies, but at the critical reaction to these movies. The biggest offenders of these movies, I will call them tribalists from here on in.
Yes, I wanted you to hear what he said about tribalism and us criticising the critics. So let's talk about this. How dare we? How dare we criticise the critics who have panned every DCEU movie bar Wonder Woman, right? Okay, they've been kind of all right with Aquaman, right? They didn't like Man of Steel. Now, to you and me, who are here because we love Man of Steel, it's weird. Now, I understand the odd person not liking Man of Steel, but the reaction to it from critics was ridiculous. So why didn't they like Man of Steel? Because it was different. Because it wasn't the way superheroes should be made. You should be like Kevin Feige. You should be like Marvel. Everything needs to be the same. God, why didn't we just allow Adolf Hitler to conquer us so we could all have blonde hair and blue eyes and walk in a goose step, right? Why? This is what these people are talking about. So this guy is calling us tribalists because we happen to criticise the critics who have clearly got an agenda against Warner Brothers and the DCEU. But he calls us tribalists because this man isn't a fan. I love the way he starts off about how superheroes are so big and they have big budgets. This is a person looking at something from a cold-hearted distance. Because if he was a fan, he would understand why we go at critics the way we do. Because it's about how people put what they're saying. It's the cruelty that these critics and bloggers have treated the DCEU. They have triggered us, so we've gone at them. That's what happens when you trigger people. What did they expect to happen? So, no. Look, okay. Should we say we're tribalists? Let's say we're tribalists. So what? I'm Tarzan, you're Jane. But, you know, honestly, right, and I wanted to play that to you because, as I say, I discovered it by accident. And for me, the hate goes on. And to see videos like that, it's just someone sticking up for the critics. He clearly is a critic, right? Now, I love the YouTube platform because it's full of weird and wonderful people, weird people like me, even weirder people like that. But he's obviously got a great creative platform on his channel, and good luck to him. He can edit clips together. Isn't that great? I think that's the difference between, you see, for me, all this clip editing together is just garnish to kind of hide from the fact that you're not very good at talking about your subject matter. He literally is doing that video to not only attack a franchise, but to attack a fandom. Because if he's not a fan, he's so much better than us. Because we shouldn't be attacking critics, right? We're attacking something we love. Now, if they're attacking something we love and they're coming out with logical arguments, that's fine. He criticises the bits that you haven't heard. He criticises the rig explosion. Why? It's Superman being Superman. It doesn't make sense what he's saying. It obviously has outer logic to him, but he's looking at it from a cold-hearted critic's point of view. So it's all very well calling us tribalists, but we are just passionate fans who love what we love. And if I find something he loved, and I had many, many subscribers, and I was trashing it constantly, he will go all tribalist on me. So well done for a well-edited video, mate. But basically, your point don't stick. The dceu is awesome. And this is what I've got to say about your tribalism accusation. In your defense of the critics, sit on my big, fat middle finger. So I read an article where someone interviewed someone else who's been to see Shazam. I've been to see Shazam. I've done a video about it. Check it out on my YouTube page, right? But this guy says this is the best DC film since The Dark Knight. Wow, hefty praise. So how do I respond to this? I've seen it. It's a very, very impressive film. As good as The Dark Knight? I don't know. He also says some very good performances, but some underwhelming ones as well. Well, listen, that's all about opinion, isn't it? Because people who know nothing about acting really should stay away from calling people's performances underwhelming. But who knows? We'll wait till we see, and we'll judge it for ourselves. Obviously, I've seen a cut of the movie. That won't be the final cut. So when I see it, I'll be seeing a lot of things I haven't seen. Obviously, no post-credit scene where I was, but I've been told there will definitely be a post-credit scene. So very, very interesting there. Aquaman continues to hit big. It is approaching 800 million. The Hollywood Reporter is saying a climax of 900 million. But somebody else on YouTube is saying it's definitely going to cross 1 billion and even beat The Last Jedi. Now, wouldn't that be a big statement from Warner Brothers actually listening to the fans since Justice League? But I've been thinking about this. Why was Aquaman so successful? And actually, I think Justice League helped Aquaman. No, wait a minute before you start unsubscribing. Think about it, right? Aquaman was in Justice League. Even the critics said the interactions between the characters really worked. And a lot of new people came in to see Justice League. Like DCEU fans only went to see it once and didn't really support the movie because they didn't like the betrayal of Zack Snyder. Quite right too. But a lot of young families enjoyed that film, and it's those young families who have also supported Aquaman. So in fact, instead of Justice League hurting Aquaman, it actually helped it. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that YouTube channel? Comment down below and let me know.